Hi, welcome back to another episode, if you will, of my franchise series and interviews. My name is John Anderson, also known as That Franchise Guy on LinkedIn, YouTube, and other places. You can always check me out here, my website, if I can get that right, on the QR code. Today, we're here to talk about Woofies, though, not me. I have Taylor and Jill, and I'll let you guys. I don't know who wants to go first, but let you introduce yourselves and then we can get into talking a little bit about Woofie's franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John, for having us on. My name is Taylor Meyer. I am one of the development managers overseeing the Woofie's expansion alongside my colleague here, Jill. And we've been partnering now on this expansion for the last few months. Jill, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I am Jill Devlin, another franchise development manager here for Woofie's. Love working with Taylor, and we are really excited for the growth and expansion of Woofie's and having you learn a little bit more about it today.
Absolutely. So let's introduce Woofie's. I mean, what is Woofie's? How did you get started? Where are you going? Give us a little overview of how you got Woofie's going.
Sure, I will take that one. So Woofie started back in 2004. It was actually two neighbors, Amy and Leslie. They both left their six-figure corporate America jobs, ready to do something on their own. And they started with just dog walking, pet sitting. Everyone thought they were crazy, but lo and behold, they made it. Uh, Not until 2011 that they added the grooming. And from there, they decided people started reaching out for franchising. 2019, they started the franchising. They brought on their first two. And then in 2022, that's when Authority Brands, our parent company, with 14 other home service affiliates, acquired Woofie's. And since then, we're really focusing on responsible growth and really being able to provide more services to furry friends all over the US.
That's awesome. I would love to have you just touch on because this is something that stuck with me a couple years ago as a young brand for sure, if not even still emerging in 2022. You actually had one of your franchisees, International Franchise Association Franchisee of the Year, correct? I mean, that's
Yeah,
unheard of for what, a 3-year-old brand at the time.
huge. She
Yeah,
is definitely building an empire.
yeah,
She's doing a great job. That's our first franchisee. So Amy and Leslie brought her on, and she's killing it. Very
yeah.
exciting. We're very proud of her and happy to have her part of our wolf pack.
Well, I just think it's interesting. A lot of times people look at some of these industries that may be called a niche, right? So in your case, it's dogs, maybe it's kids, maybe it's bars or whatever. And they might think, well, that's not a great place to make money. And I just think, for a brand new franchise with your first franchisee to reach that stature in such a short time, obviously we won't talk about financials or anything like that today, but it certainly is a testament to what they built and the opportunity that's there. So, um, which is a perfect segue into why Woofies. As people look at whatever there is, 3,500, 4,000 franchise brands at any given time registered in the US, why would Woofies stand out to somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say first and foremost, just like Amy and Leslie saw 20 years ago, there's a huge need in the market still today with people who may not have that community established in their area for pet sitting. And it's not just dog sitting, right? It's pet sitting. There's a lot of different pets that are often forgotten about, like cats or the reptiles or the fish. We've had franchisees pet sit a horse before, but whatever they're comfortable with. But there's a huge need in the marketplace, and a lot of candidates that we talk to today are experiencing that themselves, whether it's finding a sitter, finding someone to walk their dogs while they're at the office, or trying to get on a multiple week, month wait list to get their animals groomed. So I would say this is a market that's in need of someone who can come in and build a business that is scalable and has the infrastructure that allows for that. And that's what Woofie's brings to the table. Additionally, it's a fun business model, right? On your worst day, you're working with animals and maybe you get licked in the face by a dog that's got bad breath. I mean, that's worst case scenario. So that's, a few things that I think are really special about Woofie's. It's a first of its kind pet care franchise. really blending in those three streams of revenue that allow for that exponential growth over time. And, I know we'll dive into the investment later on, but with a relatively low barrier to entry and a lot of open marketplace across the country, it really allows for people that are looking to blend passion and work together to lay a really firm foundation for their business aspirations. So those are just a few things that I think really separates Woofie's from other brands, whether they be in the pet care space or in a different industry.
Right.
And it's a highly sought after as service today. So people often forget about pet care. I know when I was jumping into the Woofie's opportunity myself, I was like, pet care, okay. And then you really start to peel back the layers of the onion and you realize how large the industry is and how untapped it can be. It's what really gets people excited. And I know it's what's gotten myself excited about the opportunity.
Well, people definitely spend money on their pets and their kids, of course. But when you start looking at places that, obviously it's a business, so you want to look at the financial opportunity in the market and 100%. So one thing we didn't touch there, though, this is a scalable mobile concept too, right? So there is no cost to build out a facility or a brick and mortar kind of place, right?
Correct. So fully mobile. It's a true work from home model. We do require you to offer all three services as a franchisee. But the vehicle, which, when we get later to the investment, that will be your greatest investment, but it will also be the thing that works the hardest and the most for you. But yeah, fully mobile, no brick and mortar, quick to, get trained, onboarded, and essentially open.
Right. And one of the benefits of being part of such a large organization, even though you're a fairly young franchise yourself, is things like not all the training and support, which obviously is also there, but the call center, right? I mean, you have support there that's helping these franchisees since a lot of them, if not all of them, are working from home.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the power of authority brands that comes into the picture that really allows for our franchisees to have that, full service support and resources at their fingertips. And I think really sets them up for success. So it's more than just, a call center, right? We've got a talent team that can help source any kind of position that a franchisee may need, whether it's a groomer or a sitter or walker, or maybe down the road, it's a general manager as they start to scale their business. We can help them with that. We have the operations team. We have our director of fleet operations. We really want to find any way to ensure that our franchisees feel supported. And if there's something that, isn't already in place today and they come and say, we'd like X, Y, and Z, is there any way we can make that happen? Our team is dedicated to looking into what those opportunities may look like. So I think that's one thing that is so nice about being a younger emerging brand is you have the agility to be able to grow and adapt as your franchise pool starts to grow. And you want to make sure that each time we add a franchisee or add a new support or resource, we're constantly elevating the brand.
Awesome.
And not
Go
to
ahead.
jump in, two things I would love to add, with the power of authority brands, is our buying power with one of our affiliates, with all of our brands and all of our franchisees using the same, bulk buying power, which is a huge advantage to especially such a young company that we still are, as well as having our in-house marketing team. So we do close to 90% of the marketing on their behalf, which is a huge lift. A lot of times, especially in this digital age, that's one of the things they're most nervous coming into a business is not knowing, having all that marketing knowledge and all the digital funnels and whatnot. So we definitely have a lot of support there for them.
I'm glad you brought that up because, a lot of people look to franchising somewhat as a done for you model. And I don't want to use that term too loosely because obviously starting a business and running it is a lot of work. But you buy into a franchise because you want the plug and play where, you've got the plan, you got the templates, you got the support, you just have to do the work. And so I think that one of those things people do look for is, and you don't always find it with an emerging brand. A lot of times the younger brands don't have those resources. So that marketing support to make the phone ring and then to pick it up for you is huge, you know. So, um, and I think again, here's perfect segue into the next topic. Who makes a great franchisee for Woofie's? What do you guys look for in your candidates and your franchisees? What kind of things are they going to be doing on a daily basis that those skill sets translate to?
Yep, great question. So, an ideal franchisee, we love the community engagement, being community centric, putting yourself out there, building those relationships, building that brand awareness, networking. Someone, it's very family oriented. So no matter what stage in life that a candidate may be in, young kids, school age kids, adult kids, everyone can partake if they choose, which is really exciting. You don't get that with every brand. Um, Also, as far as, we have a range, our current franchisees, all different backgrounds, quite a few nurses, so they're just taking their care from humans to furry friends, which makes sense. But also, logistical background works really well just with the revenue streams, trying to just maintain everything, 3 different businesses going on under one umbrella, so to say. So they typically like that. But you know, the biggest thing is having that passion for pets, of course. And as Taylor mentioned earlier, the ability to blend that passion with work and create a legacy for yourself.
And as a follow-up point, so clarify for people watching this who are thinking, well, gosh, I don't want to really go babysit people's dogs or take them on a walk so they can poop or whatever. Um, make sure they understand that, well, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but as I understand it, looking for leaders to build a team and build a business, right? They're not the ones who are taking the dogs for walks.
100%. And thank you for bringing that up. So I think it is somewhat of a fun fact. None of our owners are or have been groomers. We do encourage them to take a level 1 certification so they have that understanding of what they're expecting their team to be doing. But we don't expect them to be doing the grooming, the walking, the sitting. Maybe once in a while, if they wanted to fill in, they could. But we really want them working on that business and scaling it and managing the team.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So let's touch just a little bit on what does it cost somebody to get started with this? What are you looking for as in terms of a financial profile? And then we'll talk about how people can learn more on a line by line item with a conversation with me or Taylor or Jill to learn more. But what does it take to get started with the Woofies?
Yeah. The all-in total estimated initial investment is between 129,000 and 246,000. So like I mentioned, it's a relatively low barrier to entry to get started with it being a mobile model. We look for a minimum liquidity of $80,000. And the best way to get in touch with us is either through you, John,
Sure.
or they can visit our ownawoofies.com website and get either in touch with myself or with Jill.
And tell them you found him through that franchise guy, John. You can get me at the John at ThatFranchiseGuy.com or LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm all over the place and easy to find. So any last thoughts you'd like to leave people with? Anything we didn't hit on today in terms of a high level introduction?
I'd say the last thing that I would want to leave people with is a lot of times people are looking for a change from a corporate environment or from their current day-to-day that maybe feels monotonous or unfulfilling. And I think Woofies is such a fun way to, like I said before, just blend that passion, whether it's a passion for people or a passion for pets. Or you are looking to build that family legacy. Like Jill mentioned, this is a huge family business as well. I think, what better way to, start your business endeavors in an environment that is collaborative, that is creative, that is exciting to get up every morning and jump into. It's a new adventure every day. And, that's what I think a lot of people are looking for when they're looking to make that big change into their entrepreneurial endeavors. So that's the last thing that I would leave someone with when thinking about, their next move, whether it be into business ownership, franchising. They're not maybe sure what industry they want to jump in. Don't discount pets. There's a lot of fulfillment and passion that can even be instilled in you getting into the pet care industry. So those are my parting words.
Love it.
I won't try to trump that. Those were great words. But we're really excited for the future of Woofie's and seeing what happens this year.
I think it's a great financial opportunity. Obviously, we'll all work to make money, but when you're looking at leaving a job or a corporate world that's been a grind for most people that I talk to for years, to be able to jump into something that they can get excited about every morning is a big deal. And most people are looking for that and that lifestyle over, the financial too. But I think if you guys watching this look into Woofie's, you'll find there's an opportunity for both here. So Jill, Taylor, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And again, folks, if you'd like to learn more about Woofie's, reach out to me at ThatFranchiseGuy.com or on LinkedIn at ThatFranchiseGuy. You'll find me. Don't search John Anderson. There's a million of us. So look for That Franchise Guy. Thanks for joining us
Awesome.
today, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.